Alright, we are on the play with Rug Delver. This hand looks great, actually. We are going to keep it. We've got a turn 1 Delver, likely with this island. We could always use this fetch to get something else. What's our opponent say? Good luck, have fun. You too, sir. You too. Let's get rid of that chat. Island Delver. And send it over that way. We may as well save this Wooded Foothills in case we want to conserve some life. And we also have the ability to Delver Scry with it, theoretically. So there is the point that playing the Foothills first prevents us from drawing the Breeding Pool, which I would fetch out with it. But I don't think that's a huge edge. Here is a Thoughtseize, probably taking the Mandrills, but I could also see them taking Dismember. I don't think they're going to go for Serum Visions. This could be Grixis or Esper Control. Could also be a Death Shadow deck. I don't think any 8-rack decks play blue. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to assume it's Grixis Death Shadow because that's the most prevalent of those decks. It's nice that they don't have anything for our Delver, but they took Serum Visions. Huh. I'm going to turn over a Thought Scour, and we just power out a Mandrills, right? That's the play. They went Fetch, Shock, Thoughtseize, get hit by a Delver, and now we Fetch, Scour, Mandrills. Did I do my math right? We have a Fetch in the graveyard, that's 1. Second Fetch is 2. Thought Scour puts 3. We have the land off the second Fetch. 5 cards in the bin, 1 land. That looks like a turn 2 Mandrills after a turn 1 Delver, and they haven't played any Disruption yet. We are going to fetch first, and we can probably pretty safely get a Breeding Pool. So that's what we'll do. We may as well have good mana because it looks like they're the ones who are going to be on the back foot. Fetching first because I don't want to scour away my ideal land. Disrupting Shoal is going to do a lot of nothing, at least for this turn. That's a Mandrills. Let's go over to them. That is a board state. Wow. I like that a lot. Thought Scour was probably the best card that could have been on top of our deck right there. Death Shadow basically confirmed. If they don't make it much bigger, we can actually dismember it right now. If they just slam a Death Shadow here. Dismember gives -5, -5. Really, in this spot, right now, I would prefer this Dismember to be, say, a Vapor Snag. Or just about any 1 CMC blue card, because if we shoal a Death Shadow here, I think they're just out of the game. Assuming they don't have anything else profitable to do, but even if they go land, I suppose they could land Tasigur at that point. They could even land Tasigur now, but then they're tapped out, having not interacted with this aberration, and we're going to hit them for 3 until they do something. I might even just take out the Tasigur. We just attack here, right? We attack and hold up all sorts of goodies. That's got to be the play. Turn off all of their fetch lands. They go to 1. Holding up Disrupting Shoal. Hardcast. Because that does come up. And they actually can't survive with the Death Shadow, so they need to block or deal with both of these threats. I don't believe they can, and they scooped. We could Disrupting Shoal a removal spell and dismember a blocker such as Tasigur or Xmage Angler. So that was one hell of a way to beat Grixis Death Shadow. That was really fantastic. I am ecstatic. Onto the sideboard, we want 3 Huntmasters for sure. They come in very often. It's been pretty recent that I added in this Spreading Seas, so I'll go over it again. Meta is weak to mana denial, so I want some extra mana denial, preferably in the main deck to hedge slightly our game 1 against Tron and Eldrazi decks, and Death Shadow because we may as well. And I chose Spreading Seas over Blood Moon because Blood Moon doesn't actually affect a good number of decks. Burn, Storm, these are decks I don't want Blood Moon against. I think Dismember is pretty, well, I mean, it would have been great that game if they did play the Tassiger. I think it's pretty damn good against Death Shadow Grixis. I don't think it's very good against Death Shadow Jund, because Death Shadow usually can get big enough to survive a Dismember. And let's actually just put everything. I like to sort. You guys know that. I like having all the cards we board in one spot. Death Shadow usually outgrows Dismember's range, and the Goyfs in Death Shadow Jund, unlike the ones in Classic Jund or most Obzon builds, or Rug Delver, or even Zoo, because Zoo sometimes runs them, Death Shadow Jund Goyfs get really big. Like, 5-6 is probably standard size against them. So Dismember loses tons of value there. I like it here, don't like it there. On the contrary, Engineered Explosives is really bad against Grixis Death Shadow, whereas it's great against Death Shadow Jund. Pyroclasm's pretty bad against both, and I don't think this deck runs any artifacts or enchantments that I'm going to worry about. We have 40 seconds to take cards out. Renegade's good. Maybe one Mandrels leaves. Spell Snare's good. I like Shoal. Wow, I like pretty much all of these cards. This is going to be exceedingly hard. Let's cut the shoals. Speed things up. 20 seconds. Still 9 cards. Oh no, they were still here. Okay, we can do it. We're going to cut a Mandrels, a couple Scours, because this is going to get very interactive. I don't know why this denial is here. Last card to cut. Maybe another Bolt. Mana Leak because we're on the draw. Easy cut when you don't know what to do. Mana Leak because you're on the draw. Alright. We are in game 2, almost certainly on the draw. And I like it. We have Blood Moon mana. We have Big Threats. We have Spreading Seas. I can Surgical if they try to do any Snap or Kolaghan's Command shenanigans. I like it quite a bit. I think it's a good hand. It's almost certainly not as good as the previous one, but a lot of the value in our previous hand was off the back of the top deck Thought Scour, which was, once again, probably the best card I could see in that spot. I wouldn't be surprised if they take Spreading Seas, but Mandrels could also be a consideration. Surgical if they're leaning on graveyard stuff, and Huntmaster is just a sweet haymaker. So maybe they take that too. I imagine they'd take Spreading Seas. It's my earliest play. Our opponent is probably thinking about what they're going to take. They went with Surgical, so I guess they are assumably leaning on some graveyard stuff. Wow, Blood Moon. Okay, so if they don't have, I guess we just lean on Tarn because that's the one that's going to get a shock. This obviously is getting a forest. If they don't have another discard spell, we are just going straight at the mana. And we are going at it hard. Another reason you want Spreading Seas over Blood Moon, if you do run 1 Land Hate main and then 3 in the sideboard, 4 Blood Moon effects is probably bad. Yeah, we're just gonna do it. I forgot to fetch. That is on me. I was too busy talking about lands. We're going to go Steam Vents Forest. That is 2 life I should not have taken. That is a misplay and or misclick, because that wouldn't happen on a different platform. It would probably still happen on Magic Online, but in paper, it's a lot harder to just click done, whereas you would have to say, okay, I am going to my turn before cracking this fetch. It's nice that our opponent didn't play a land last turn, because that implies that they need to visions into a black source. Oh, they found it. So if they do have the discard, they can take our Blood Moon, which will be sad. It will be sad, and they probably have it. I wouldn't hate a Death Shadow here. I could roll with that. Lay it on me. Angler. That is worse for us than a Death Shadow. That's a 5/5. Okay, I can deal with that. So we're going to give up some very important tempo here in exchange for being able to stop them from resolving any other spells. Question is that the right line? Because we can play Mandrills, we can play Goyf. These are the two things that slow them down, but I don't think we want to be blocking yet and letting them have mana, so let's just cut them off. Hopefully that's good enough. This should be a mountain now, although I have tooltips deactivated, so I can't see the reminder text add red. Xmage is probably lagging, given that we clicked our turn, and there we go. Oh, okay, they were disconnected or something. It says at the bottom here they rejoined the game. So I imagine we were just waiting on them. Blood Moon should be good, but that Angler play could really hurt us. I do believe that Blood Moon is the right play here, because whatever we play otherwise is probably just chumping. Because if we play Moon, we take 5, and we're behind on board. If we play Goyf, we either take 5, same as Moon, or we block with Goyf. And then we're stalling against an opponent who still has quite the capacity to be casting spells. I don't really want to do that. If we're going to be on the back foot, we may as well not let them play anything. I think a land is the best draw we could have here, because that means Huntmaster. Renegade. Okay. Let's look at the graveyard real quick. I am playing Narnum Renegade. Actually, if we play Renegade, we can't play anything else. It's still probably best to just slam the Renegade, right? I think so, because whatever we play is probably just blocking. If they don't have a Lightning Bolt, we're in a good position. So, I'm playing Narnum Renegade, again, because a few users on MTG Salvation, the Rug Delver thread, of course, really like the card. I personally have not yet seen evidence that it is better than Snapcaster Mage. Specifically, I would not run Narnum Renegade before running my first Snapcaster Mage. This Narnum Renegade just made it very bad for this Gurmag Angler to attack us, and probably allowed us to stabilize long enough to do nasty, nasty things to the opponent. We can play Goyf or Mandrills. We can't Mandrills with Denial up, so I believe it's just Goyf. We'll hold up Denial just in case that's somehow relevant. Maybe they top deck a Swamp and have Kolaghan's Command? I don't know. So it looks like this Renegade is going to pull all sorts of weight that in this particular scenario a Snapcaster Mage would not do. This is a very good data point for Renegade being awesome. I actually might share this video with the thread because it screams, check out this card, it's good. And I know they quite like that. The card, that is, not going over how great cards we play are. Yeah, I like that quite a bit. I really don't think they can come back from this, so I'm probably going to pile it on. I'm not afraid of damnation or anything like that. Seems like we are in a fantastic spot as Huntmaster triggers and also does awful things to our opponent. We now have a Dismember, so if we dismember the Gurmag Angler, I believe we win on the spot. If we don't, they take 5-1, we Simic Charm. I don't think we can lose. So we're going to attack. Between Simic Charm and Dismember, I believe we just have lethal. So Blood Moon plus Narnum Renegade is really good at shutting down opponents who stall. They block Ravager. I guess we could just Simic Charm. Yeah, let's do that. Simic Charm it. That one. Blue, green. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage for... Oh, actually, this had taken more damage. It was just past Xaxes. I thought we had Xaxes. I forgot about Huntmaster's trigger. That was a pretty good game against Grixis Death Shadow, and I am really ecstatic. That's a great way to start my day. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully you come back for the next one. Yada yada yada, end of video spiel. I'm probably going to hop into another match.